New Thought Media Network proudly presents Lindsay Leimbach, Practicing Infinite Possibilities, Fridays at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 9 a.m. Pacific. And now, here's Lindsay.
Hi, everyone. Happy Friday. I'm back. I'm back from my trip. I went to England. So welcome to New Thought Media Network. And if you're Trudy and anyone else on the East Coast, hi. How about my parents in Florida? Hi. How about all my friends in California and my friends in Europe? Hi, everyone. I'm back. I'm back. I missed you guys. I missed you all a lot. So what do I want to talk about is mindfulness. I'm a mindfulness coach, and I just went to Europe for 2 weeks. I went to London for 2 weeks. And when you can go into any situation, your daily situation, but when you can go on vacation and you're mindful, you really feel like you have this open canvas. Open canvas. Yes, you might have a model out there. There you have a goal. You have an idea of what you want to do, but you get to paint the picture. And sometimes you might say, but I want to paint turquoise. And you look down on your pad of, your palette of paint, there's no turquoise. When you travel, that happens all the time. You're like, well, I want to get here, or I want to get there, or I want to do this, and it's closed, or it's raining, or the trains are on strike, or something, and you don't get your turquoise, but you still get to paint. And that is the power of the connection we have with the universal spirit. They're always giving us the paint. So let's look into that. Now, I want to say a shout out to my girlfriend, Stacy. She sent me this morning. Look how awesome this is. Rose and thorns and buds check in. So rose, the rose itself at the top right there. Here, I'm going to go this way. Right there, right? See it? That is gratitude. It's beauty. It's what you see. It is the obvious, right? But then we all have thorns down here. And the thorns are the things that we need to recognize. They don't mean that we have to live in fear about them, but we need to be careful. We need to learn wisdom. We need to know and understand that they're part of the human experience. And then we have the buds. The buds are the potential idea. And if we nurture our plant, if we are the gardener to our life, to our day, to our morning, to our trip, if we are the gardener, then we get to nurture it. Even if it's a cloudy day, that's fine. And some might not be out, but that doesn't mean that you can't go and nurture your flowers and be a gardener. If it's raining, you would say, well, I can't go out then. That's fine. It needs rain. You accept the rain. You accept the rain, you accept the thorns, you work with it all, and you know it's all part of the experience. And this is really what the philosophy of Buddhism is always talking about, that there is always pain in this world, but the suffering is optional. The suffering is optional. We get this tool that's our brain, and we get to work with it. We get to decide, well, if I don't have any blue on my palette today, it doesn't mean that I don't have yellow and green or other colors to paint with. Why do we have to be stuck in a box saying this is the rigid way it needs to be? That's why I love so much the Impressionists, in that time period with art, because they just broke out of the box. They said, we don't need to be rigid. We can be open and express the joy and the love of light. And if you look at, Van Gogh or Matisse or Monet, and I got to see all these guys, they just, so the sky is purple. The stars are swirling. It's up to you. All right. I got to also have some people send me some hearts. check this one out. That is a heart stoplight. And you know, I always like to show what people's show is. This is actually in Iceland, but is that awesome? And I always love to say, when you come to a stoplight and you get to the red light, rest and relax, meditate, take that sacred pause. Why does that have to mean that it's an obstacle? It's more like a reset button. And so I really like these Iceland traffic lights. Hey, I'm calling out California. Let's do it. All right. And then my friend Stacy sent me this one. Look, there it is. If you program your RAS, your reticular activating system, in the morning to say, I'm going to see hearts, then you know what? They pop up everywhere. If you say, I'm going to see gratitude, I'm going to see kindness, I'm going to see love, it will pop up. The brain will be attracted to it. Let me come down here. Now, this is one that I saw in Harrods. So I got to go to Harrods, and then I got to go to like flea markets. I got to do all different things. And I loved being able to see all the different things that were going on in London and England. But this heart was in Harrods. And so I thought, I'm taking a picture and I'm bringing it back to you all. Here, let me see what we got. Some comments going. Hey, Wayne. And Fiona, I'm sorry if I'm not saying it right. It's so Shay, good morning to you too from Geneva. Oh, what a gift to be in the present. Absolutely. Absolutely. What a gift. I'm Trudy. Hello from the East Coast. I'm going to throw her up there. She's usually on the West Coast. She is traveling around. It's so good to have you all here. There's Wayne. Thank you. What a gift. What a gift. And here is Fiona. See, serene salutations and listening mindfully from Geneva. Great. That's so great. I want to go there, and let me put my banners up. I'm going to jump to this. You know, I kind of go with the flow. What do we want to say today? I want us to jump in to mindfulness, because I'm a mindfulness coach. And what does that mean? So I actually looked it up. The definition: mindfulness, the quality or state of being conscious and aware of something. Their mindfulness of the wider semantic tradition. I didn't get that word out. Let it go. Doesn't matter. But the bottom line is you're mindful. You're aware, right? That's the bottom. And here, let's go here. The mental state achieved by focusing on one's awareness in the present moment. This is what we normally think of mindfulness. While calmly acknowledging and accepting the feelings, thoughts, and bodily sensations used in a therapeutic technique. So mindfulness is being aware of what you're feeling, what you're thinking, you know, what your body's saying to you, without the judgment, without that story mind. And that is a fabulous way to do your whole day, to do your whole life, but to do traveling around. Because when you're aware of what's going on, then everything becomes an ordinary miracle. And I really got to do that while I was traveling in London. I was there for 2 weeks, and I got to do a lot of traveling by myself. So that means that I was really embracing my surroundings, and I wasn't thinking about what maybe someone I would be traveling, what they would want to do, or my husband, he wouldn't want to go shopping, or he wouldn't want to look in the store so much. So I'd be mindful on what he's thinking and try to adapt to him. But once it was myself, I actually just was so inundated by the colors and the architecture and the people. I wasn't lost in worrying about what someone else was thinking. I was really in the moment. So in doing that, I want to show you some things that I found that are so cool. First of all, you all know that I love rubber ducks. I found a whole store of rubber ducks. I'm not kidding you. Look at that. I think that's meant to be Prince Charles. And then, of course, the flag. They had so many different ones, but I'm like just going down alleys. I'm just exploring, just open, looking around, being aware. And then all of a sudden, I'm right in front of a store just filled with rubber ducks. This one says, I love London. And I'll show you one back here. I have the Queen. Is that awesome? So, why do I love rubber ducks? I just want you guys to remember why. Because they float down the river, right? Like we float down, they go with the flow of the river. If they need to slow it down, they can go on the side of the river. If they want to go faster, they can go in the middle of the river. If they bump into a wall, they just bounce back and change direction. We all want to have that in our decision making of being a rubber duck in the flow of river of life. And then also, if you get an eddy, and let me tell you, I got a few eddies. I did. A few things pulled me under, okay, on traveling. That is life. But I popped back up. And I'm going to tell you about a few of my eddies in which I had to regroup, reset, and pop back up. That is life. That is life. So that was so much fun. Now, this person, this is Laura. Look at her hair. It was totally winning. I took a train down to Edinburgh, and this is where Laura meets. And why I want to introduce you to Laura is she is a New Thought Science of Mind minister, and she was the person who was my producer and my trainer on New Thought Media Network. And I just love her. And so I met her through New Thought Media Network, and we did all these PIPs. She's the one who helped me get on PIP and how to do PIP. And oh, I am so grateful. But of course, she was activating or helping me through in England. So we had never met. So we got to meet up, and you can't really see it, but she's wearing this really cool necklace. And I said to her, I love your necklace. And the funny thing is, I stayed with my son in London, and he lives in Chelsea. He manages a high-end boutique hotel, and he has an apartment in Chelsea. And Chelsea's like Beverly Hills. So Gucci and, Harrods and all those stores are there, and all those people are there. And that's what I was living around. And so when I then went down to Edinburgh, I met with her and I said, I love your necklace. I love it so much. It was like the prettiest necklace I saw. And she looked at me and she said, Primark. I'm like, well, I don't know what Primark is. She's like, Lindsay, I got this necklace at Primark, which I found out is the equivalent of Target. And I'm like, no way. Meanwhile, I have been seeing necklaces that are worth $20,000 and shoes that are worth $5,000. And my favorite thing I liked was her necklace. So I went to Primark, and there it was. I know, so you can, it's so pretty. It's just so pretty. It's so casual. It's so functional. To me, it looks very, almost Tiffany's, like gold Tiffany's. 2 pounds. Now, 2 pounds is equivalent of $2.50. $2.50. And I just think that's so cool. So what I really liked, what I'm telling you the story is that everything is relative. What you love and what you experience doesn't have to cost $20,000. And I saw a lot of things. I saw cars, I see rich cars out here in Beverly Hills and stuff, but in Chelsea, all the cars were like $250,000. It doesn't have to be that way for happiness. So now Laura and I have matching necklaces. So really get into, what do you like? Hey, Kevin. Oh, I'm so glad you made it. I've missed seeing Kevin in these last 2 weeks. I'm glad he's joined me. Let me go back to my brands. Let me go down here. So I want to show you something that I loved about London. These are pictures that I took, but once again, being very mindful. I love looking at the light and the architecture and the difference between the old and the new. And London really has it. To me, it was a super clean city and very, very safe. But this is you can see an old telephone booth, and then behind it is a high rise. And the telephone booth has all these stickers and stuff on it. And it really kind of captured. Oh, by the way, I manifested sunshine. It was sunny. It never rained while I was there. Is that awesome? Here's another example of seeing the difference. Now, I want you guys to really lean into this. Do you see? This is part of the Tower of London. And the Tower of London, just so you know, isn't a tower. There's lots of towers there. Really, it's a fortress. It was the original castles. It started in Roman time. It really started to be built up around 1000 AD, and then it got added on and added on. So it was where the castle was of the kings in the beginning before they moved out of it. And yeah, it did. You always think of it as a jail, but it's not. It was never built to be a jail, and so people were in prison there. I will say that. But anyway, but look at the picture now. Look in the back. If you can see in the back, it's a city of glass. Is that incredible? This is downtown London. And you see the city of glass. So it has that, I'm not going to get the word out right now, that duality or whatever, the opposites happening here of the old and the new. But it kind of really works. It really does work, especially with most of the new buildings being mirrored. It kind of just reflects back the old. It was so beautiful. Now, this is inside the Tower of London, and this building holds all the jewels, the crown jewels. I saw the crowns that Charles wore and from the last ceremonies, but to go back from the beginning of time. And they were made, diamonds that were like this big, massive diamonds are in there, and big, big plates made out of gold. So much incredible, I don't know, wealth, whatever you want to say. But you know what? I like my necklace. And you can't take pictures when you're in there. So that's why I don't have any pictures inside the building. Those people are in the line to get in. But I went into, this is me. I went into the gift shop and I took a picture of a crown. Is that hysterical? I'm like, I gotta remember that I actually saw the crown. So of course this is like a little kid's hat. Let me come up here. Here we go. Oh wait, let's go back to my band. Oh, I lost it. I got it, guys. Take this off. So once again, being mindful and being really aware and seeing all the differences and seeing the light and so forth, and all those crowns, which I guess are priceless. You can't even buy something like that. But I want to show you a hat that I'm most proud of. This is the hat. Makes me want to cry. That I am so proud of. I'm so proud of. And this is the reality of life, guys. This is my son, Dennison, and this is why I went. He graduated from Oxford Brookes in international hospitality. He got his grad degree there, and this is him when he was going across the stage. So I saw him in graduation in the city of Oxford, which is a phenomenal city, by the way. It's, if you can think of Harry Potter, it's like that. The whole city. It's very cool. But this is the hat that counts. Right? Once again, when you're being mindful and you don't get lost into the filter system of the collective consciousness of greed or even other traditions, what is important to your heart? What is attractive to your eyes? You have a unique, authentic self that needs to be expressed. And it wants to call out. It's your uniqueness that calls out. It is your authentic self. I love this necklace. This is the necklace I loved. I'm telling you, this is the one I wanted, and it cost $2.50. The hat that I really want, I don't want to wear it, but the hat that I'm so proud of on the whole trip of all the magnificent hats, and in England, they wear hats. We went to the Chelsea Garden Show and people had terrific hats on, but it's that hat. that had of accomplishment. That had. So then we ended up, because of that, I want to show you. We went to the Shard, which is that really tall building. Do you see in the back? And this is Denison, and you can see the red bus coming up. I took a picture of them before we went into the Shard to eat dinner. So we said, we're going to go eat high scale, top of the line for his graduation. And I'm glad we did one time. Was it good? It was good. But was it expensive? It was outrageous. And there was so much beautiful, wonderful food all throughout England. So once again, you have to decide. But it wasn't about the food. This was the view. Is that magnificent? So we got this view from the Shard, and I recommend, if you can get there, that you see on the plate, there's like something that looks like a little triangle right there. That's their dessert, and that's their mini Shard. It's made out of all different cake and ice cream, and then it has sugar on the outside set up to look like the Shard. But that was so cool. So we got to have that experience, but it wasn't all about having just, the Shard and Gucci and Harrods, and we did all that. It was also about coming down and seeing the moment, just the streets, the buses, the food and the vendors. Oh my gosh, the people I met were so magnificent, because I was in that mindful state. I was in that awareness. I wasn't lost thinking about what I was going to do tomorrow. I was really focusing on what I was doing today. All right, I'm going on and on. I want to show you a picture. I went to some great art galleries, and I got to see Renoirs and Matisse's and all these things. And this is Van Gogh's. This is Matisse, and it's actually a very big picture. And the reason why of all of them I wanted to show you this is that this was a year before Matisse died, and he was a magnificent painter, but he couldn't paint anymore. So what he did is he painted big sheets of paper, and then he took scissors and he cut them out, and then he stood back and he asked his helper to glue them onto this canvas. So this is actually big sheets of paper that he painted and then glued together as his artwork at the last year of his life. And I just love that, because it obviously is do your passion, figure it out. I know we get old. I know we can't do some things. I mean, my eyes aren't as good. It's hard for me to sew, but it doesn't mean give it up. Find a way to express yourself. Find a way to do it. All the way up to the end, express your authentic self. You have purpose and meaning in this. Do the Matisse. Figure it out. Figure it out. All right, now I did tell you I had a few hiccups. This isn't really a big hiccup, I'll just show you, but I'm in a garden of my good friends I stayed at in a town called Sherborne, which is such a small, little, beautiful town. It's so old. Anyway, you can't see it, but I'm wearing a flowered shirt, and a bee landed on my flowered shirt. And they said, a bee's on you, a bee's on you. Well, of course, when that happens, your amygdala goes off. You're like, danger, danger. But I know, as you all know, that when we practice our meditation and we practice to not react so fast, I could sit there. And I sat there and said, take a picture of me and my new friend, the bee. And that's what, and he just hung out. And I stayed still and I continued talking. And then he realized my shirt wasn't going to give him any pollen, and he went away. This is how we want to learn how to live our lives, because bees hit you. They do, right? Bees come and they land on you and you feel unsafe, but it's your reaction to the bee that will cause the problem, not the bee, right? It's your reaction to the bee. All right, here's some wonderful people I met, a little boy and his dad on the trains. Now, why did I put them in? Well, it's interesting because, and I'm not saying everyone, but culturally, the English they stay more in their lane, meaning that they don't just talk to strangers and blah, 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 like I do in California, or my family does, or a lot of Americans. We tend to, like, when you go up and you buy something, I'll start talking to the cash register or have a conversation with the waitress. They're more stay in their lane. It's just a cultural difference. However, I didn't stay in my lane. I was like talking to everyone. And there was a train strike. So that did change my schedule a lot. I had to figure out how to handle the train strike. I couldn't go to some places I wanted to go to. And when I was coming home, our train broke down and I had to get home that night because the next day they weren't running at all. And so thank gosh everyone speaks English, but even the people on the thing, when they're talking like this and they have their accents, it's very hard for me to understand what they're telling us to do. Your train is now broken. The brakes don't work. So I had to get off, and then I realized get on another train, and I hear this dad, I'm at a table, and I heard this dad tell his son, go sit with that lady. And I heard the little son go, oh no, there's someone there. And I turned around, I smiled at him. I said, oh, come sit with me. It'll be great fun. And the little boy looked at me like, you're from Mars. But I smiled and he smiled back, and dad said, go. And they sat with us. And thank goodness, because I was able to help entertain his son, which was really fun. But he could tell me all the different trains. We had to get off and get on different trains to get ourselves back to London, because there wasn't a direct route anymore, because our train, which was direct, was broken. And so we became a team. This is what you do. And you know what was really fun is that they had never been to Disneyland. And I got to tell them all about Disneyland and how to do that. Here is another story. Okay, I'm not going to stay long on this story, but you know what that black dot is? Bed bugs. One hotel I stayed in for 2 nights. And to make the story short, the bottom line is I woke up and there was bed bugs in my bed. And I have actually stayed at this hotel before, and there was no bed bugs. It was more like an inn. Well, to say the least, this is how it happened. My phone goes off at 3:30 in the morning, which is really bizarre. And I had it really loud in case my son needed to call me. And so I woke up to the phone and it said, Ohio. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I turned it off. Then a mockingbird outside my window was squawking so loud that I couldn't go to sleep. And I had my window open. So I said, oh, forget it. So I turned on the lights and I looked down and there was the bed bug. I was like, oh my God, jumped out of bed. And so then this is, what do you do? Now I'm by myself in this hotel room and it's 4 o'clock in the morning. Guys, what I did is I went to gratitude. Thank God that phone woke me up. That was the angels. Thank God the mockingbird was going off. I mean, at 3:30 in the morning, I didn't know that they squawked in the middle of the night because it wasn't sunrise. And they're going and going. I feel like that was like angels waking me up so I didn't sleep in that bed for 8 hours with the bed bugs. I mean, I was in it for 3.5 hours before I jumped out of it, but I jumped out. And then what I did, I realized that I had already straightened up and put away all my clothes, and I had everything up off the ground just because I did, not because I was worried about bed bugs. And I was so grateful. So I jumped in the shower, took a shower, and the shower just kept going. Thank God I have a shower. Thank God I have a shower. Thank God I woke up. Thank God for that mockingbird. Thank God that I had packed my bag. Thank God that I can handle this. Thank God that I'm awake. And I just kept saying over and over again, I only had 3 hours of sleep. I was going the next day back to London to go to the Chelsea flower show. And I just thought, I am just so thankful, because I could have gone into panic and crying and upsetness. And you know what? That wouldn't have changed that I was sleeping with bed bugs. So finally we woke up. My son was in a different room and got in touch with the people. I went down to the lobby This is me. I went down in the lobby and I just sat in the lobby by myself from 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock. Then I called the people. They came. Yeah, they saw the bed bugs. I had obviously took pictures of them, and got ourselves together. And we went straight to an industrial place where we could put all our clothes in, including, I was also so thankful I didn't have my big suitcase. I had like these little suitcases with me because we were only going away for 2 days, and I could stick them into this dryer, and we put it on high for 40 minutes. And we just let everything toast, toast, toast. Well, everyone says if 20 minutes at high should kill the bed bugs and everything. We did 40 minutes, including my purse, including my shoes, everything, we let it go. So what was the thing that saved me in that? Was definitely gratitude. Just be thankful that we had a place to go, thankful that I could keep my head straight, thankful that everything just worked out, that it all worked out. Did I want bed bugs? No. Did I want a train strike? No. Did I want a bee to land on me? No. No. Did it ruin my trip? No. And this is the practice of mindfulness. So right before I leave, I want to just show you I met some really great people on buses by myself. So I'm on a double-decker bus here, and I met this gentleman, and he showed me all around. I was sitting next to him on the bus, and he is a street performer for 40 years in London. He was awesome. I met this girl. I had lunch with her in Chinatown, and she is getting her social work degree. She's grown up in Paris. She didn't speak English too well, but we had a great time and had a lot in common. I met this wonderful girl who was a Norwegian on the subway, and she was so beautiful and unique and cool to talk to. So I was with lots of friends and met lots of people. This is life. Live it to the fullest. Step out of your comfort zone. Don't go with fear. When you get dealt a hard card, anything, bed bugs, train strikes, blisters on the feet, I had that too. Work it through. Go to gratitude. Use that and be thankful that you have a mind to make a different choice. You have a mind to make a different choice. So yes, the trip is extremely long. It's about 10 hours in the plane. And this doesn't really show, but I was so mesmerized when we were flying. I was flying home over England and then over Ireland and Scotland. The twinkles that the sun hitting the ground. Oh my God, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. So find the alms, the ordinary miracles. Find the beauty in whatever is happening. And when you get dealt that card, be mindful. Don't go into fear. Don't go into feeling sorry for yourself. Don't become a victim of it. Go to the higher level of expressing yourself. Go to gratitude, work through it, and enjoy your life. Enjoy your life. Well, thank you so much for everyone being here. Thank you for wanting and seeing everything going on. Kevin, Wayne said, be the light. And Kevin has definitely been giving me lots of, Kevin, did you find the pterids there? I don't know what that is, Kevin, but I'll figure out what that is, and maybe I did. Who knows? Anyway, blessings to you all. I'll see you guys next week, right? And we're going to talk a little bit more and really about radical acceptance. But isn't that exactly what I was saying? When the bed bugs come, radical acceptance, I had to not live in denial. They were there, and I had to work with them to move past them, to still have a wonderful time and not get trapped in fear. So until next week, have a great week. And thank you, everyone. Still send the hearts. I think they're wonderful. Let's program our mind that way. Bye.